How's it going, folks? So we're 3 days into the new year and I'm just absolutely itching to get out and go camping, and so I'm trying out a new tent tonight. I've laid this out and tried it yesterday, and so I thought I'd just do a quick video about it. Now, the tent that I decided to get was what they call a Raider XL. It is sold by an online company in New Zealand called Intense Outdoors, and this puppy, it just ticks all the boxes. So let's kick on and set this thing up. I'll show you how easy it is to set up, and then I'll run around some of the specs about that. So carry on watching now. We're going to be talking about the Raider XL. So this is about 50 centimeters by about 14. You can see that's about the comparative size with a normal water bottle, and the total pack weight of this is 1.75 kg. So it's not ultra light, but it certainly is light. Alright, so you get some instructions. Now honestly, this is a really simple setup, so you'll only need those instructions once. You get a bag of tent poles. They're 8.5mm aluminium. You get a lovely little bag of tent pegs. So these are the tri-pegs, 15 mils long, and you can actually purchase these from Intense Outdoors from $2.50 each if you needed any more. In my case, I've got the ground sheet. Now that's 170 grams, and you can purchase that for $50. And of course we have our inner and we have our fly. I'll just show you how easy it is to set up. Now it's very similar to my 20-year-old Marmot Zoom tent, and that was one of the things that really attracted me to it, was this crossover of these two poles, which you'll see very soon. So in my case, I've got the footprint, and so what I like to do is to peg the footprint out. I just do this loosely because that way you can tighten things up. Now there are two widths, if you like, of this tent. There is the head end, which is a little bit wider at 90 centimeters, and then there is the foot end of the tent, which is a little bit narrower, which is this end here at 55 centimeters. This is important is because you need to orientate where the door is, and in my case I want the door facing the camera. Just now pulling these tent retainers over the pegs. The tent poles are 8.5mm diameter. That is completely sufficient for a light adventure tent. There are two of them, and they are all shock corded. So I'll just set these up. There's a curvature at one end of the pole and the other one's quite straight. So the curvature actually goes into the head end. One onto each side. And for now I'm just going to lay that down and repeat on the other side. So the ends go through aluminium retaining clips of both the bathtub and the ground sheet. So now it's just a case of these actually cross over, and you grab the inner, which has got the shock cord, and that just wraps around a couple of times around the poles. This is at the foot end, and we'll repeat the same at the head end. And at this point you just start clipping in to the poles. It is seriously that simple. This is very, very sturdy with this crossover point. Now the other thing that this actually does is it spreads the headroom out, so you actually get a really nice headroom inside. This is made of ripstop polyester. So ripstop means that there's a thicker thread that's sewn in, so that if you ever developed a hole in your tent fabric, it would never rip past that, so it's a lot more robust. So the PU rating of the floor itself is 5,000 millimeters. Waterproofing starts at around about 1,500 millimeters, so at 5,000 this is very waterproof bathtub. The fly is made of polyester as well. And this has a PU of 3,000 millimeters. So the PU is the polymer that they put on top of the fabric to make it a lot more waterproof. So let's just put this on. And once again, just pulling the straps over top of the tent peg that I already have. So you get 7 tent pegs, and the other 3 are to tensioning out the fly. So there's one for the door area, and it comes with 2 guy ropes. I always like to use my guy ropes. Here comes Bentley back from his walk. And seriously folks, that is pretty much it. So I'm just going to walk around now and tension it, and I'll come back with you soon. So it's got a lovely side door entrance. This can all be rolled back with a very well designed tensioning retaining hook. Once again we have the no seam mesh with this lovely big wide side door, and again this can be rolled back. And this is what I love about a side entrance door, is that you can open this right up and just really admire the views that you have. The total length of this is extra long. It's 230 centimeters. To put that into perspective, a 6-foot person is around about 183 centimeters. So you're getting almost another 47 centimeters, if you like, at either the head or the foot room. And that was one of the things that really attracted me to this tent. I'll just put my sleep mat in so you can see how big it is inside. And you can see if this is full length, there's ample at the head and at the foot. I'll just get in and show you. That's my foot room, and as you can see I have plenty of headroom. Another one of the non-negotiables with me is that I needed to have room to sit up, so that if I need to get changed when it's raining, I'm not banging my head on the tent ceilings. Just go through the numbers again. So it's 90 centimeters wide at the head end, it's 55 centimeters wide at the foot end, and the height is 85 centimeters. So I'm just on 6 foot, and I have just a bit of head clearance. Let me show you some other really neat things about this tent. We're just about wrapping up now. This is a large 75 litre pack, and that fits underneath the front vestibule, but don't forget that you have another side here as well if I was to let this down. But what is quite unique is this little side vestibule, which is able to be entered from this little zip here. Now there has been some kind of manufacturing flaw where I think the zip has been put on the wrong way, and that is actually the reason that this is often on sale for half the price. So this little flaw, which really doesn't affect things at all, could save you a whopping $175. So even this just folds out of the way, and this would give you access to all your gear. So you might have your shoes here, in my case my food and my clothes for a couple of nights, and my cooking set, or you could just leave that open for ventilation. In terms of the pockets in this, there is this head pocket here, and then there's this other pocket here which you could put your head torch and maybe your cell phone in. But of course, don't forget, you've got ample room at the foot. You've got the side area here that you could put your things in, so there is ample room inside this tent. In terms of ventilation, I mean, you could have this completely open at night to get a lot of ventilation in, or if it was raining and you had this zipped up, it's got this really neat double zip system, so you can open this up and increase the ventilation, but it's got this really nice little pole, if you like, which keeps this separated. That allows you to keep this open, so you can get some nice fresh air and ventilation to stop the condensation at night. And also it has this at the end. Now I've done a little bit of a jack up here so that it's tensioned as well as the head here on this guy rope, but if you just release that, if it was stormy, you could just clip that in, or alternatively you could just leave that sitting out and you've got your guy rope sitting here. Well folks, that's pretty much it. So there is the footprint with the aluminium clip, retaining clip for the pole, so the pole goes through both those holes. There's these lovely little tensioners, and these wonderful little 15 centimeter tri pegs. Now, the other thing I love about this is its colour. You could probably do a bit of stealth camping in this. There you go. 5 non-negotiables for me was one price. This comes in at a normal retail of $350 New Zealand, but you can purchase it on sale, probably because of that quirkiness with the zip. You can purchase this for 175 New Zealand dollars. It has the side entry, which is non-negotiable for me. As I say, it's light, it has adequate room, so I'm just on 6 foot, and I've got an extra 50 centimeters at either end, and I can sit up in this as well. And it is a standalone, so what that means is basically I can unpeg all of this and actually move it and then repeg it down again. And the other interesting fact, which is not a feature that is sold with this, you can actually just pitch it with just the fly only. So in some ways this is a dual pitch, but they don't sell it like that. Right folks, the only thing left to be done now is to pack all this up again and head off to my wild camp. So thanks for watching. If you haven't done so already, then please hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and I'd love to hear your comments or questions if you've got any more for me. Thanks for watching now.